ya Bu. Oke, saya langsung saja
ready?
ya.
Are you ready? Okay, let's begin. It's your time. In 15 minutes ya Bu.
Oke Bu. Oke, good morning everybody. How are you today?
Good morning.
Okay, I'm
Fine.
happy to hear. Ya. Before our lesson, we will pray now. Oke, Pita yang pimpin doa waktu sekarang. Lead our pray this time. Ya, mari kita berdoa. Amin. Oke. Who are you? Still remember our lesson last week? What is about our lesson? What is about our lesson?
Lupa Bu.
Undangan ya
Iya.
semuanya.
Membuat surat undangan ya. Make formal invitation letter. Oke. Undangan resminya dari siapa ke siapa? From who to from who? Iya. Bisa dari instansi ke instansi, juga dari perorangan ke instansi. Iya, bagus ya Dinda ya. Okay, this time we listen the topic of analytical exposition. Okay, I will give you. Oke nih. Oke. Ya. This topic analytical exposition. Ya, di sini kita akan belajar bagaimana memberi pendapat atau argumen. Ya. Pernah punya pendapat? Iya, pernah ya. Ibu yakin pasti pernah ya. Oke, sekarang ya Ibu mau kasih atau sampaikan tujuan pembelajaran ini. Apa yang harus capai ya di pembelajaran ini. Ini peserta didik mampu mengidentifikasi informasi aktual dengan benar. Peserta didik mampu menentukan informasi aktual dengan benar. Kemudian melalui diskusi kelompok nanti peserta didik menganalisis informasi aktual dengan tepat. Kemudian peserta didik menganalisis struktur teks dan fungsi sosial dan unsur kebahasannya. Dan yang terakhir, peserta didik mampu menafsirkan makna tersirat dari teks dengan benar. Oke, diingat ya tujuannya ya, supaya bisa nanti dikerjakan berdasarkan tujuan ini, sehingga tujuan ini boleh terlaksana atau dapat kalian terima dengan baik dan bisa dipergunakan dalam kehidupan sehari-hari. Oke, yang berikutnya akan tampilkan video ya, tampilkan video. Kamu boleh menyimak. Nanti dalam video ini kamu akan diminta untuk memberikan pertanyaan dari video yang ada. Ya. Bisa hidup ini. Uh,
Jadi kan video
tertutup.
itu.
Oh ini.
Those were smoking for decades. But how exactly do cigarettes harm us? Let's look at what happens as their ingredients make their way through our bodies and how we benefit physically when we finally give up smoking. With each inhalation, smoke brings its more than 5,000 chemical substances into contact with the body's tissues. From the start, tar, a black, resinous material, begins to coat the teeth and gums, damaging tooth enamel. Over time, smoke also damages nerve endings in the nose, causing loss of smell. Inside the airways and lungs, smoke increases the likelihood of infections, as well as chronic diseases like bronchitis and emphysema. It does this by damaging the cilia, tiny hair-like structures whose job it is to keep the airways clean. It then fills the alveoli, tiny air sacs that enable the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide between the lungs and blood. A toxic gas called carbon monoxide crosses that membrane into the blood, binding to hemoglobin and displacing the oxygen it would usually have transported around the body. That's one of the reasons smoking can lead to oxygen deprivation and shortness of breath. Within about 10 seconds, the bloodstream carries a stimulant called nicotine to the brain, triggering the release of dopamine and other neurotransmitters, including endorphins, that create the pleasurable sensations which make smoking highly addictive. Nicotine and other chemicals from the cigarette simultaneously cause constriction of blood vessels and damage their delicate endothelial lining, restricting blood flow. These vascular effects lead to thickening of blood vessel walls and enhance blood platelet stickiness, increasing the likelihood that clots will form and trigger heart attacks and strokes. Many of the chemicals inside cigarettes can trigger dangerous mutations in the body's DNA that make cancer form. Additionally, ingredients like arsenic and nickel may disrupt the process of DNA repair, thus compromising the body's ability to fight many cancers. In fact, about 1 of every 3 cancer deaths in the United States is caused by smoking. And it's not just lung cancer. Smoking can cause cancer in multiple tissues and organs, as well as damaged eyesight and weakened bones. It makes it harder for women to get pregnant, and in men, it can cause erectile dysfunction. But for those who quit smoking, there's a huge positive upside with almost immediate and long-lasting physical benefits. Just 20 minutes after a smoker's final cigarette, their heart rate and blood pressure begin to return to normal. After 12 hours, carbon monoxide levels stabilize, increasing the blood's oxygen carrying capacity. A day after ceasing, heart attack risk begins to decrease as blood pressure and heart rates normalize. After 2 days, the nerve endings responsible for smell and taste start to recover. Lungs become healthier after about 1 month, with less coughing and shortness of breath. The delicate, hair-like cilia in the airways and lungs start recovering within weeks and are restored after 9 months, improving resistance to infection. By the 1-year anniversary of quitting, heart disease risk plummets to half as blood vessel function improves. 5 years in, the chance of a clot forming dramatically declines, and the risk of stroke continues to reduce. After 10 years, the chances of developing fatal lung cancer go down by 50%, probably because the body's ability to repair DNA is once again restored. 50 in, the likelihood of developing coronary heart disease is essentially the same as that of a non-smoker. There's no point pretending this is all easy to can lead to anxiety and depression resulting from nicotine withdrawal. But fortunately, such effects are usually temporary, and quitting to a growing arsenal of tools. Nicotine replacement therapy through gum, skin patches, lozenges and sprays may help wean smokers off cigarettes. They work by stimulating nicotine receptors in the brain and thus preventing withdrawal symptoms without the addition of other harmful chemicals. Counseling and support groups, cognitive behavioral therapy, and moderate intensity exercise also.
Oke, ini video pertama ya. Kemarin sudah Ibu bagikan melalui WA kelompoknya. Video pertama dengan kelompok 1 dan 2 itu memberikan pertanyaan tentang video pertama. Nanti ini ada video berikutnya yang kedua. Ada 2 video yang di sini. Jadi video kedua itu akan diberikan pertanyaan dari kelompok 3 dan 4 ya. Sebentar saya buka dulu.
In this video, I will explain you about advantage and disadvantage of online game. Let's check this out. In a simple game, we play usually with other players in one connection or internet connection. So many we can play this game every time in the world when we have an internet connection. But this online game has many advantages and disadvantages. Number one is become popular. A lot of people become popular because they play online game. For example, like this man, this, and this. For example, it happened about national competition, so it made them become popular. This is because paid, work, school, love, and many more. And when you play online game, it can reduce stress because you can set story to other players. Like this is something. Number one is forgetting in life. Usually, online game is forgetting in life, and at the best, the online game offering consequence, like forgetting to play, forgetting to study, and forgetting to.
NANI?お前はもう死んでいる。
Next is antisocial. The people who offer or addicted to play and game tend to be introvert and people around you. Sure, and sometimes you probably how many people are there? Okay, guys.